There we are. Take one. I can't people today. All right. Great.
I have another one that says go away. Which can work really well,
Right now would be
because social
appropriate.
distancing. We're
Yes.
going to pretend we're 6 feet apart.
Yes.
But see, we're not really breathing on each other. We're
Correct.
looking at you.
And we used Lysol, Clorox wipes.
We
before
did.
We did this as well.
We did.
Washed our hands repeatedly.
Yes.
So, AJ,
Hannah?
thanks for joining me here today.
Yeah, so why did I join you here today? What started all this?
My thought process during this time, with everybody going through questions and feelings and issues about fear with the coronavirus, I realized in my personal conversations with you and asking questions about what I need to do in my personal community and global perspective of what's going on, I felt like I had a huge sense of relief and peace and understanding and less fear. And so I thought, with all that's going on right now, that not everybody has a virologist friend, and so I did not want to hoard my friend from the rest of society, and so I thought this might be helpful for some others who I've talked with.
So it was specifically my background and training in virology, and not just my my standard wisdom that put you at ease.
Yes,
Okay.
I think it was a little bit of both. Yeah.
No, that's okay. It's okay if it was the creds. That's all right.
Yes. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm very curious about things. I like to ask questions, and I think sometimes it's hard for people to understand what is real, what is not real, and how to make decisions. And so I think when we give people information, they can sort through those things and make the best decisions too for their families and communities as we navigate this together. So I've got some questions that I've asked my personal community, my coworkers, neighbors, and I'd love to go through those with you. But before we start, would you mind sharing a little bit of, you are a virologist, but a little bit about your background?
I am a virologist, so going through university microbiology course was actually where I probably fell in love with the concept of viruses, and I think I probably had a little bit of a background because I often would go to the doctor with some type of sinus or respiratory something, and the doctor would usually check me out and say, oh, it's a virus, we can't do anything about it. And so that was many years ago. There's still a lot of viruses we can't do much about. This would be one of them. We don't have a medication or a vaccine for this yet, and those kinds of things are probably months, if not a year, still away. But I was intrigued by viruses. I always say that I'm intrigued by the things that I can't see, whether they're really big or really small. So God or viruses. And so yes, I studied viruses at the University of Pennsylvania, did my graduate doctorate work there, and then I went on to Yale for a postdoc, and then I actually ended up in the National Institutes of Health. And I worked on SARS coronavirus from 2003 to 2006 with a small team of scientists at the NIH. And so I actually know a lot about the virus. I know as much as many people know. There are a few people obviously that know more about this one than I do because they're in the trenches. But I was in the trenches the first time SARS came around. So.
Well, thank you for working on that. Because at that point in time, I was working with an organization that sent teachers to China to teach English. Yeah. And the years that SARS broke out, we had to pull them back. But the following year, I headed over. So
the following year it was gone, right? Yeah.
Right.
So it showed up and disappeared. It was only around for about 8 months, and we always thought, well, it's got the potential to come back. But if it does come back, we sort of know where to look for it. We know what kind of animals transmitted it from bats to humans, and we had 3 years of really productive work with a lot of collaborators in different pharmaceutical and academic and government laboratories, and there were just a lot of promising vaccines and things for SARS